Hey guys, welcome back to Jack on Tracks, and in this episode we're going to turn this into this. Hey guys, welcome back to Jack on Tracks. We're going to stain this wood on the sides and get it stained and polyed. Get 2 coats of poly and stained. That's going to be it. I'm not worried about getting any stain on this top because this is all going to get painted and covered anyway. Yeah, so let's get to it. I'm just going to make it really simple. I'm going to tell you just quickly what I use. I use Old Masters. If you buy Old Masters, I recommend it over Varathane and even the Minwax stuff. If I had to buy one of the other two, it's Minwax. I don't like the Varathane at all. If you're going to buy this stuff, go to the store, make them stir it up, and put it in the shaker. The stuff settles out really solid in the bottom. So if it doesn't get stirred up really good and then shaken, you leave half the pigment at the bottom. Yeah, so basically what I'm going to do is I got to pop out the alignment dowels that are on the bottom. If you remember, I didn't glue those in yet. There was a reason, and this is the reason. So I popped those out. Pop them out on the side, and then we're going to stain this up. Like I said, I'm not too concerned about the top getting a little stain on it, but I am. The cork gets screwed up. All right, so we're going to work on that, and we're going to get at it. I'm going to fast mow it, so you're just going to see me just do it. It'll be done real quick. Yeah, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about the alignment dowels and how we reinstalled those, because that's basically going to be the finishing part of this, is their finished installation. All right, guys, so let me go to fast mode. Here we go. All right, guys, so we got all 4 sides done and the bottom edge. Why the bottom edge? Because you're going to see the bottom edge. They don't have drapes, it looks like. So I want this to look decent. The inside of the box is going to be brightened. This has got to dry. They say 2 hours. I'm going to let it dry overnight. And then I'm going to come in here tomorrow, maybe later tonight. Probably later tonight, and throw my first coat of poly on it. I'm gonna let that dry completely, and then I gotta sand it down because the poly really makes this grain pop, and it fills in a lot of the defects. So I'm gonna give it a good sanding and then go over it. Plus, when I'm all done, this whole bottom is gonna get polyed as well, and it's gonna get really rough. I'm gonna sand it down nice and smooth, so when you touch it, it's nice and smooth on your fingers. All right, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back. Last night, after we've done recording everything, the staining of the side and the first coat of poly, I found out that they were corrupted. So I don't have any footage of this getting stained and polyed, but if you've stained and polyed anything before, you know what you're doing. This is the last step for this. And this step is me. I'm going to sand this down. The top, this bottom edge has to get sanded down, and the sides have to get sanded down, and it gets its last coat of poly. That really gives a nice protective finish, and it makes it look nice. I'm not a big guy into painting it green or blue or orange. I like wood. I like the way it looks. I think it just looks a little classier, a little more museum-y looking thing. That's the way I kind of like it. So that's the way I do it. Yeah. So I'm going to try to fast mow this, and so you get some video out of this. All right, guys. I'll be right back. right, guys, and that's how you get 2 coats of poly on something. So the sanding, the first coat of poly really pops the grain on these things. So I just hit it. I hit it with some sandpaper, 220. You can use 150. I may have sanded through some of the stain. I usually let the stain, like I'll stain one side and one of the sides, and I'll usually let it sit for 5 minutes before I wipe it down. But I got 12 feet of this stuff to do. I just didn't have time to let it sit like that. So it still looked pretty decent on the other one, and we'll go from there. Possibly they all might get a 3rd coat of poly. I gotta see how it looks when it all dries. If it doesn't look, if I got an uneven sheen, I'm gonna go over 1 more coat of poly on it, and that time I'll put it on with a roller. That seems to really put a candy coated shell on these things. So that's it. You saw I did these. That was just basically me wasting whatever was on the brush, and it makes these a little nicer to touch. So I don't know. So that's basically it. We'll get the legs back on this. All right, guys. So the last thing we need to do to wrap up this video is to make this. This is a 3/8 inch carriage bolt with a T-nut. And what I did off camera, because, you know, the YouTube channel, why would I do it on camera, is I cut and drilled out these blocks. All right. Some of them still got to get lined up, but I drilled these out, and we're going to press these T-nuts into them. So let's go do that. All right. I'm going to show you how to do one. I got to do 8 of them. You're not going to watch me do all 8 of them. So I'm just going to show you how I do one of them. Let me just make sure I got these lined up right. All right. Okay. All right. So basically, I drilled it. I clamped 2 blocks together, and I drilled a pilot hole in them. And then I took a 1-inch bit, stuck it in the hole, opened it up. All right, enough to recess this in so it's underneath. Should be underneath. All right. And then I glued it and clamped it together. I lined it up with the hole because this hole is a little bit bigger, is 7/16. This is a 3/8 hole. I want this to be bigger because I want there to be tension on it. I don't want there to be any wobble in these. So that's that. Even though everything's not 100% flat and smooth over here, I got the disc sander over there. That's a real quick touch up, and that chews them up. All right, so this is what we're going to build. And I had to buy a new 7/8 drill bit because my old 7/8 drill bit was basically a butter knife. So 7/16. I couldn't drill through it at all. All right, that just opens up that hole a little bit. That just makes it so this barrel fits in there. All right. Now here comes the part you're gonna have to trust me on. Is I got to bang it in. All right. Now you're gonna ask yourself, isn't this a little overkill? This is Jack on Tracks. It's all overkill. All right. The reason why I did this is because I had a set of legs that I set up, and if you put this piece like this on the bottom, which most people do, after years of it bouncing around, moving around, they fall out, and then your legs fall off. All right. Do it this way, you would say, oh, well, push on the ground, pushes out. Yes, you are 100% correct. But when you sandwich this in, they are captured. So that's what we're doing. All right. So that's that. This one I didn't drill out. I need to get my 3/8 drill bit out for that. All right. This is where it gets fun because this is a very snug fit in here, and that's the way I want it, and that's the way it is. All right. So what I'm going to do, a little tight bond too. Oh, I don't know my own strength. Put a little tight bond 2 in here. It's actually pretty thin. This is a little thinner than. All right. All right, so not all these blocks are perfectly cut to each other, but that's not a problem. Like I said, I have that tool over there, and I'll use that to fit everything up better. All right, so I just basically clamp these together, make sure I get these as tight as possible. And if you look, I'm getting squeeze out, so that means it's getting pretty tight. I don't want it so tight that it squeezes all the glue out, but I want it tight. All right, so we're just gonna let those sit. That's basically it. So I got 2 more to do to get this set done, and then 4 more to do to get the set for the other one done. But all right, so now that we are at this point with this one, all right, this is a cutoff from the legs. It's the same thing. All right, so these are just going to sit in the bottom like this, and that's going to be it. I mean, you can look; the legs aren't 100% square. This is the problem. I'm very fussy with my woodworking, and it really annoys me that my I can't really zero out my stuff. My table saw is off and it changes. My chop saw, I've tried a dozen times to get that zero perfectly, but it's not. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue this in to the legs. I'm going to put heavy glue on this side, and then we're just going to clamp it in, and I'm going to hit it with the staple gun, the stapler, and have it glued and stapled in. And then this side should be able to be pulled in. Really not that problem. So, all right. But I don't think there's any reason why you guys want to watch me do it. So I'm just going to go off camera, get these done, and then we'll come back and we'll show you how we put them on the legs and get the legs on this thing. All right, guys, we'll be right back. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I know the last couple of videos have been a little bit all over the place. Just have a lot going on in the real world, and I'm just trying to make sure I keep my content coming out like I've been promising, once a week. So that's really it for this video. I'll have some after shots with the two ends together. maybe I'll take them outside, and I'll have them outside. I guess I'll try to take them outside. We'll get a picture of them all shined up and everything. I went with the two-tone because I just like it. So I like the way the contrast looks on them. So it just makes it kind of pop, draws your eyes to it. So I'm just hoping that the top looks as good as the rest. So, all right, guys, as always, I appreciate you guys watching me. Hit the like button, subscribe button thing, and the next video is somewhere. Just here, there, somewhere. I don't know where it comes in. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Hey guys, welcome back to Jack on Tracks, and an episode